Another important part of putting the marathon together is finding out information on the groups that are going to be playing at the marathon. Yes, there are live bands and lots of them, and Jackie Gross was in charge of gathering this info. Just what does this entail?
Mostly it's going over to the talent agencies, the booking agents, things like that, asking them for the telephone numbers, which they very rarely will give us, which means we have to sit by the phones here and wait for the bands to call us, or we can go over to the talent agency, they'll call for us, and then we get on the phone.
Other information that is needed is dancer information, and this is to help the jocks in the broadcast booth talk knowledgeably about the couples on the floor when in need of something to say.
Dancers are hard. We won't have any real information until even after the last minute. We won't have it till the marathon's underway. And the fraternity that's sponsoring it, ZBT, is giving us, the couples chairmen are going to write up the information for us. And it's going to be compiled from biographies that the dancers gave to them, I should say. And it's stuff they wrote down. It's very rarely any good that we can use. We have to sift through it, see if there's anything decent. Usually there isn't much.
After all this information is gathered and the wires and phones are hooked up at the gym where the marathon is held, the radio station is ready to start its live coverage. With an engineer back at the station and the two jocks in the broadcast booth high over the dance floor, the PA in the gym is turned on, and this is what the dancers hear.
Live from Huff Gym, the 1976 National Dance Marathon for the National Association for Retarded Citizens, April 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Sponsored by Zeta Beta Tau Fraternity and brought to you live by WPGU, the voice of the marathon.
This is the largest group of people ever assembled in one place. But I think you people have proven something to the world, that 500,000 kids can get together and have 3 days of fun and music, and have nothing but fun and music. And I got
Good evening from high atop Huff Gym. Kim Love and Tom Thomas starting 52 hours of fun and music, helping you dancers help millions of retarded citizens. Now let's get it on. Mercy.
Unlike past marathons, this year WPGU was in charge of announcing the bands on stage. Most of the talent was local, and although a lot of the bands were mediocre, they did provide the music for the couples to dance to.
I'd like to introduce a band from Champaign, Urbana, Thunder Rail.
Who's that man holding in his hand? It looks a lot like a guy way back when. Silly Willie from the Billy Band could be. Ooh-wee.
Friday night, the first night of the marathon, was a little shaky for WPGU. A couple of mixing boards blew up, the cue lines weren't working the way they should, and a couple of the band intros didn't come off as planned. But come Saturday night, the radio station was tighter than a drum. The mixed boards were replaced by other boards 10 times the cost and 10 times the quality. The phones were in perfect working order, and a perennial favorite of the marathon was ready to play.
And drew 8,000 people to the National Dance Marathon last year. He's back again from Chicago. Let's have a fine hand for Bill Quaitman and the Q Band.
It's always amazing to see what kind of band Bill has with him every year, because with one album out in the past 4 years, he always seems to get top-flight talent in his band. Last year, he had Elton John's lead guitarist Caleb Quay, and this year's celebrity of the group was former Wings drummer Denny Sywell. Although our taped interview with Bill and Denny got lost in the shuffle, Denny was particularly happy to be playing at the marathon for the first time this year. At the end of Saturday night's activities, the PGU people, the dancers, and the equipment were beginning to feel the strain of this extravaganza, but the arrival of a very familiar performer on Sunday afternoon perked everybody right up again. That performer was Harry Chapin, a favorite of the Champaign-Urbana area, and Champaign-Urbana a favorite of his. We interviewed Harry before his performance, one of two he would be doing that day. The other one would be in Oklahoma City that night. He likes doing new music at the University of Illinois.
There's a amount of songs I've done here I did Bananas here for the first time. I did Six-String Orchestra here for the first time. I did a bunch of songs in the many concerts I've done here, and I've got about, as I say, 4 or 5 new ones today.
Harry is a very warm person and came to the PGU broadcast booth in the gym and sat up there until 10 minutes before his show signing autographs.
Well, the concert's going to start sometime before 1, around that time. So if anybody wants to come and get ripped off for a good cause, we're here. And
while the crowd was waiting for Harry's appearance, so were the jocks on the air, talking about a first for Champaign.
30,000 pounds of bananas. He sang that down here in Champaign-Urbana for the first time before anybody else heard it. I guess he's sort of test marketing some of his material, and I guess a lot of people like it, because we at WPGU, when we played that album last year, a lot of people called up and requested for it. A lot of the other songs he plays, they like too. It's very popular down here in Champaign-Urbana. He's been down here every year for the past several years, and every time he comes, he's very popular in concert. And we can see how popular he is by seeing all the people that are sitting in the Huff Gym. A lot of the seats are filled. A lot of the seats are filled compared to earlier in the day. I guess people are starting to pour into the Huff Gym to see this. People are dancing. All the dancers seem to be getting excited, ready to see Huff Gym, or see Harry Chapin. It's been a long day.